Oh no! Star Wars shocker! Game of Thrones duo quits planned trilogy. Well, is it really all that shocking? Knew there was trouble on the horizon. But just another sign that, boy, things are not going well for Star Wars. So, these guys were supposed to come in and save the day after the absolute disaster that was The Last Jedi, which was a hydrogen bomb in the franchise. I mean, you can go on about the bad parts of Force Awakens, but it didn't damage the franchise entirely. Not what Last Jedi did. And so the announcement that these guys were coming in off of Game of Thrones to do a Star Wars trilogy, that was the only one anyone was looking forward to. Besides, for a while there, the Ben Kenobi, what we thought would be a film, now apparently will be a series for Disney Plus and all that. But this was supposed to be the salvation for it, and the theory being that it was going to be, the Old Republic and stuff, and that's all well and good. And especially since you can go off on these other stories, leaving the Skywalker saga behind because it's supposed to be completed with Episode 9. Yeah. Oh, boy. The problem being, let's say they even did it. That stench of Last Jedi is, like I said, a hydrogen bomb, so the radiation is just poisoning everything. And so it's really hard to follow something like that. Now, Benioff&Weiss got their own stench on them after what they did with Game of Thrones. Series that was so beloved. And then they just sort of phoned it in and did a slap job on the ending and let's get out. Oh boy. I can't say that was as bad as what Last Jedi did, but it was pretty irresponsible. The plot points of the end of Game of Thrones were not, so horrible. It's just for them to be credible, you needed at least another season or so. And basically season 7 and 8 was just one season cut in half, So, that kind of thing, to be that kind of lazy and irresponsible with it, doesn't look great for what they might have done for Star Wars. But good Lord, it couldn't have been as bad as Rian Johnson. Well, maybe not, but we'll never know now. They moved on. So here we have the Hollywood Reporter story on this. The pair were set to produce the 2022 film. The first to come after this year's Rise of Skywalker. Game of Thrones creators Benioff&Weiss had exited their planned Star Wars over 18 months after Disney and Lucasfilm first announced they were joining. We love Star Wars. When George Lucas built it, he built us too, Benioff&Weiss said in a statement. Getting to talk about Star Wars with him and the current Star Wars team was the thrill of a lifetime, and we will always be indebted to the saga that changed everything. But there are only so many hours in the day, and we felt we could not do justice to both Star Wars and our Netflix projects, so we are regretfully stepping away. So you turned down Star Wars for whatever it is you're doing for Netflix. This is how far Star Wars has fallen. And Netflix, they swept them up before they realized all the bad feelings coming out of Game of Thrones, because these guys were kings, They're like, oh yeah, we'll sign you up, because Netflix needs a talent to develop the projects for them in order to survive the streaming wars. Yeah. Because the empire of Disney is striking back. But anyway, so the pair was set to write and produce the December 16th, 2022 Star Wars film. The first to come. Yeah. And now it's not going to happen. And so, oh, well, that trilogy won't happen. And I don't know, was it ever confirmed that they were going to do a trilogy? I don't know. Then for a while it sounded like, well, maybe one film. And then, of course, Rian Johnson's trilogy. Yeah. Well, at least these guys are stepping up and admitting, yeah, it's not happening. Whereas this, and what, corner of insanity would you pursue that at this point, because as in bad a shape as Benioff&Weiss are in after Game of Thrones, they're not as bad off as Rian Johnson was with that. So anyway, Kathleen Kennedy, I'm like, David Benioff and Dan Weiss are incredible storytellers. I think they're good managers of stories that someone with real talent can write. Yes, they can certainly do that. But when left to their own, I'm not so sure about that. Anyway, we hope to include them in the journey forward. As if that would have been up to you. Anyway, when they are able to step away from their busy schedule to focus on Star Wars. Now, they just said they can't step away. They're not coming back. So, anyway, the news comes a month after the Hollywood Reporter exclusively wrote that Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige was developing a Star Wars film. Yeah, that was pretty much the clincher. Here, this is a statement that's delivered quite a while after the fact that there was to be no Benioff&Weiss trilogy, and there's not going to be a Rian Johnson trilogy. This is Feige, please put on your cape and come save us. And that's what the deal is, because he's got this whole, Marvel universe, and he said, hey, look what I did. So, can Feige save Star Wars? I don't know. It's a tough thing to do. I mean, because it's as much as there's problems with Force Awakens and how J.J. Abrams chose to do that in a very lazy manner, in my opinion. That's not the problem with it entirely. It certainly sets up the conditions by which The Last Jedi, does its damage. But in the end, J.J. Abrams is left having to fix it and wrap this up, despite his public denials. That's what he's doing. But come on. What's he going to do? He can't. The devastation of that, Chapter 8 is such that it's like, well, what was the theory that it would be time travel? It's yeah, please do, something. Bobby Ewing in the shower, we accept anything. But it's too late. It's done. And that's the problem going forward with the Star Wars brand, is that your main saga, your main story, yes, it's a universe, so there's other stories you can do with other characters that bear no connection whatsoever to Luke Skywalker and the like, and you could create your own thing there. Yeah, sure. But not after you've done this. This was the origin point of everything. This is where it began, and this is the beloved characters, and the treatment of Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi is just unforgivable, and that's it. So I don't care. And J.J. Abrams he's not Spielberg. He's not, Spielberg could not save this, and that's the thing. Let's say Rise of Skywalker, which I seriously doubt, is a good film. It's a good adventure romp in space and all that sort of thing, which is all Last Jedi had to be, and refused to do so. It doesn't matter, because, again, it's like once you drop a turd in the soup, hey, just sort of scoop around it. No, you got to throw the whole thing out, and that's what you got here. And it's unfortunate, but And it didn't have to be that way. I mean, if Last Jedi had been even like Solo took the punishment for the crimes of Last Jedi. But if Last Jedi had been at the level of Solo, Star Wars would be fine. You know, all the movies had to be was just sort of okay. They didn't have to be these great wonders. But man, if they couldn't be great, then they had to be the worst ever. Apparently, that's what, I guess, I don't know, but it's an amazing thing to see such a giant franchise like that fall so far so fast, and I don't see how you save it. Now there's the television series Mandalorian. They put out a new trailer, but the footage was pretty much the same. It's just this dialogue in it and everything. So I wasn't all that wild by the second one, but overall looks pretty damn good. Perhaps Mandalorian can do it, but there's always going to be that, damn it, you had the moment. This was a moment where you almost had a moment. You never got the Beatles reunion, but you almost had this. You almost had it. And you just pooped the bed all over it. But anyway, here you go. Probably a wise choice on their part. Let's go do whatever it is they wanted to do with Netflix. I know they wanted to do that alternate history of the Civil War thing, but they got cold feet on it. So I don't know if that's what they're developing for Netflix, but I guess we'll find out at some point. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Yes, that's right. You.